In this video, we're going to take a look in Cubase Pro 8.5 at a new release of mine coming out on Closer to Truth Records. So big shout to Alex Agor and David Nickel. It's a fantastic label. I'm really proud to be part of the catalogue. So this is a piano-led house tune, a real emotive journey. I'm going to take you through it. I'm going to show you what I used to create it. Standard beats intro here. Let me just show you what I've got. And this was the Groove Agent SE4. Using the Dog Hop kit, which is one of the presets. All of these drum sounds that I'm using are separated out onto their own inputs in the mixer. Show you some of the settings. Clap with the Reverence plugin. Just going to bring that over onto this monitor. There we go. That's the impulse-based reverb. Hat, some EQing. Rim shot with EQing as well, and mono to stereo processing. Now look, I'm talking over one of the nicest parts of this track. Let me come back. And by the way, as you've seen, just to introduce that piano, we've got a waveform here. We've got a couple of things, the reverse cymbal coming in there. Also the effect, the chimes over here. It's great with Cubase Pro 8. We've got this waveform window here on the meter bridge. I love that. So we got a couple of real nice musical elements, and let me solo both of these. First of all, the piano and strings. These are basically coming from a real standard device for me, and that's the Halion Sonic SE2. This is a great workstation. So many really usable sounds in there. So it's a combined piano and string layer, and that sounds lovely. It sounds so good. You can see what I've done here, a bit of EQ just to brighten it up and to take off some of the lows. The dual filter does come in later with some automation, you'll hear that. But what I wanted to do is just to show you here on the actual MIDI data what's going on, because I used some of the functionality within Cubase, some real nice musical functionality. And you can see over here the ability to play around with chords to create inversions and drop notes even, and I applied all of that to create some real nice variety in the chords as the song progresses. Okay, so you will see some variations here and you will hear those as well. The other thing that's going on, I soloed the wrong instrument there. The other thing that's going on is the mute guitar. Okay, so let me just bring this one up as well. So this is another Halion Sonic instrument. All right, so these two elements are working really nicely together. There's a few effects on here on the main. We've got an amp simulator, chorus and multi-delay, just to really bring that sound out. That's what it sounded like before. That's a real nice sense of stereo and interest. Okay, we've also got bass. So you can see some quite drastic cutting here, minus 9 dBs at 448 Hertz. Because I really wanted to take out some of, there's a real kind of slappy thump on there. Let me show you what I used for this. Another Halion Sonic patch. It's called Voyager Bass. I actually remember when I first listened to that patch, it had some real random panning on there, and actually you can see one of the rotary controls is called pan random, so I took all that off. That was a bit crazy, and it really works a lot better now, and that's working nicely. There's a lot going on in this track in terms of some real kind of refined kind of elements. I really like that crash cymbal that's occurring. That one there. I know that's named timbales, but it's actually, this is, let me just show you. I did another video about this actually a while back, just to show you that the percussion capabilities of Groove Agent 4 are fantastic. So I've got the crash and the timbales coming through on the same fader. Okay, what I really liked there was that nice resonant sweep, and that's occurring over here. So this is another instance of Halion Sonic. So this is a preset called Ascending Sweeps, and just once again bring it over here so you can see it. And let me just show you, where are we? Let's solo this, let's solo the piano and the bass line. Real nice, simple extra layer. It's moving really nicely, you know, it creates a nice atmosphere. So into electric piano. Halion Sonic SE, Arctic piano preset. It's a really lovely sound. Okay, so we just had the first instance of the timbales. So I played them in, so you can see the MIDI here, and you know, they sound really, really nice. I'm going to come back on that section, by the way. There's a real use of those chimes and reverse cymbals to create nice transitions, and then once again the fill here. So I haven't talked about the vocal, which is essentially the hook. It is from a sample library that you can buy. So the danger is that someone else could use the same hook, but it's been cleared for use. So here I've got a ping pong delay, which is creating that long echo on there. Compressor, reverence, reverb again. So it's basically running through two reverbs. The first one is over here, played at 4 seconds. And then the other reverence is a return reverb. So over here, and this one's a bit different. So there are two deliberate reverbs on this. So that's a scoring stage. So it creates a real interesting texture. So I really like the treatment on that. By the way, so you know, I was talking before about these strings. The notes here are different, okay? And you can see here that they're ascending, and this creates a real nice bit of extra drama. So that's different to the piano strings here. Essentially, they're the same chords, but they're performed slightly different. And that was something that I was able to do through the functionality that we see on the left-hand side here. Okay, so that allowed me to do that. So it's a great bit of MIDI programming functionality inside Cubase. Let's see what we got next. These are lovely strings. Extra layer on top. And this is a Halion Sonic SE2 preset called Lovely Ensemble. So you know, it's really quite a musical one, this one. I spent a lot of time kind of working on the melodic aspects and trying to get a real kind of emotional vibe out of this. You'll notice that the timbales were coming in just to add some hype on that section. And the timbales have really got their space here. All of the musical elements apart from the bass line have been taken away. And we start to lead into a new section here where there is an arpeggio. I'll bring up the instrument. It's a preset called Little Sparks. You can hear that now. Just going to solo that. And on the channel strip, you can see here that I've got an auto pan on the insert just to really move that around left and right. The strings that we heard before are now being filtered. You know, I told you that I was going to turn that on with the automation. Here we go. More filter being used to do this. Let me show you. Got that big reverbed kick that's up here. Nice bit of space here. You see the morphing filter with the strings. Really thinning the sound out now. Bringing the energy back, creating the drama. Feedback increased on the vocal to create a little kind of build here. And you can hear a real high frequency content here. This is from Equator, you know, the Seaboard Rise synthesizer. And I bounced it out as audio because I was getting a situation where everything was getting kind of processor intensive, and it was a good idea to bounce that one out. Another little breakdown here towards the end, just to add some extra emphasis. And of course we've got the outro for DJs. Nice and simple. Breaking down the elements gradually so that it's easy to mix the next tune in. Let me just show you my master settings here. So a bit of EQ work here. The slate rack. I'll show you what I'm doing with this. Virtual mix bus first. The Neve console emulation here. This lovely custom series lift. I think it's fantastic. Kind of real secret weapon. The grey, which is the SSL bus compressor emulation. Virtual tape machines as well, to give it some 90s flavour. And then the FGX as my mastering limiter. I'm not using any of this stuff up here, just simply using the gain to push it up and aiming for that RMS of minus 10 dBs. So that's it. Look out for it coming soon on Closer to Truth. There is a B-side mix which is way dubbier and stabbier, which I really do think is going to work for you underground guys.